A little bit. Yank it out. There we go. Okay, first thing on Operation Reinforce the hell out of this thing is make sure this subframe stays in place. This bothered me the most about last video is this being able to move up. So, what's the game plan? I'm gonna make a tube that's kind of going like this and come across and then bend and come down and meet there. It'll be parallel with the subframe like that and it'll meet up right there. And from there, I'm gonna make a bar that kind of does that, you know, get the little triangulation reinforcement ideas. And in the back, I'm gonna have a bar that goes like that to meet up with the plates that I'm gonna redo here. So the plate that you see now is gonna actually be all the way up there. So I've got more metal to do this. I'm not just gonna link them together. That'd be sloppy, but that's the idea. Plate, plate, bars, bars. So I'm gonna get to it. Alright, so next up I'm doing some door bars. I'm doing a standard, just kind of X bar. I'm doing this now because there's a lot of weight resting on that little corner there, and it's starting to kind of bend everything back. So I've got the jack back there, bring it all back up to the right angle. Then I'm going to put the door bars in. That'll shore everything up, so it's kind of going to be one good solid body. The thing that's going to help more is once I get the A-pillar and, you know, roof bars and all that, but that can't be done till the other portion is cut up, which I haven't done yet. But this thing should be really rigid once that and the door bars are added. Alright, as you can see, it's freestanding. It's finally on its own. Last time there was a jack back here, but now I can stand and put it through its paces. It's just perfectly happy. It's nice and strong and it ain't going anywhere. So, next up on the list, mounting the motor. That's coming up. I'm mounting the motor. When I do that, I'm also going to take this little piece off the bottom. I'm going to remake that in some heavier wall because this stuff is 065 wall. Tube, and I'm gonna up that to 120 just so I can kind of tie into it a little bit more and make more strong, more happiness back there. I'm also gonna make an X brace for the main hoop. It'll go from down there to up there and now to there. So that'll be kind of what's going on the back end. And honestly in the front there's not a whole lot except for I'm gonna make a tube that's gonna go from this corner down to this thingy right here. That'll kind of shore up the front subframe, make sure that's not going anywhere. So obviously, a lot of work to do, but a lot of progress. So I'm gonna get back at it. Okay, it's finally time. The motor is going into the car. So what does this entail? Lots of sketchy things. There's like 6 nuts here because I don't have any short bolts, and it's evident there too because that is just the bolt. The chain is free to slide. It's almost not the worst thing because this thing is. There are bolts missing. There are nuts missing. There's the bolt that is not there. It's a rod, and everything's finger tight. Don't worry about it. But I'm gonna roll that behemoth over here. I'm gonna set the motor in, put a jack underneath it, put the transmission on, and then I will be able to mount it. I'm extraordinarily excited. Alright, so the motor's sitting just about where it needs to be. I mean, give or take a degree or so either way. But here's my idea. So down here, there are 2 mounts right there. And same on the other side. So I gotta mount that somehow to something. Now this has taken many, many hours of just straight up thinking to get done. But this is kind of my idea. So I'm gonna have a tube sitting right here where the little fancy motor mount's sitting right now. So it's gonna come up, and it's gonna be crossed in X like that, and then from there down to there, and then it has a tube like it kind of has now going all the way across, and then floating in the middle there will be a motor mount right before that little piece there. So this is what I've drawn. Not a great drawer by any means, but it'll kind of look like this. So you can see the bar going across here. The 2 motor mounts are about there, and then wow, I got bright. That's the X design. There's a little cup there that's going to bolt into the bar on the bottom. And then this is kind of how it's going to look. So this is a little piece on the front of the motor. And then it's going to go up with some like thick sheet metal. Not sheet metal. Thick plate. Then there's the motor mount sitting right there. That's one of these. So this piece is sitting dead in the middle there. Then there's going to be a tube going down, and it's going to meet up with this tube, which is this tube. It probably doesn't make sense, but if you sit and watch and wait, I'll figure it out. Because it doesn't make total sense to me, but I'm going to really give it a try. Okay, so I made these nice little motor mounts. These are exactly what's right there. So now these get tacked to that, and they get tacked to the car. And engine will be kind of sitting by itself. Just need training mounts, and we're ready to go. Okay, so off camera I made these tubes. They have a very, very funky little notch here that moves in with that. They're a nice little loving relationship. Kind of like what's going on here, but all around. I've been told that is stronger than your average notch like that one. So what's coming up next is I gotta make a tube that goes from this point to this point, but this is where the gas tank has to come down, because if I can't, if the tube hits it here, I won't be able to get the gas tank out ever. It's gonna be a permanent fixture here. So just figure out a way to go from here to there. I'm thinking maybe a little bent tube or something of the sort. Back here, everything is basically welded up as much as it can be with the engine transmission still in there. But I want to get everything else kind of done up, take the engine transmission out, and then weld everything up, and then put the body on it. So you can see I've added all my temporary reinforcements. So the reason why this is all being done is because if you look at this chassis, you get your front half here and your back half here. But in here, what only keeps these two together is what's in this floor. However, to drop this onto that, you can't have anything in here. In fact, even the frame rail, which is this piece here, all the way along, same with the other side, is getting cut out as well, just to fit over the chassis. So we need something to keep it in place. So this is the best we can do. I might add some in the front as well. I gotta cut all this out, and to have a bar, multiple bars in the way, pain. The Sawzall is not kind to me, and the more space I have, the better. I'm gonna cut out all that, and in the back you can kind of see what I've done as well. This will be what the front looks like essentially. That's probably gonna have to end up going because it's probably gonna land somewhere about there. I'm probably gonna have to triangulate this a little bit so it doesn't tend to kick this way or this way. But you know, you can get the idea what's kind of going on here. It's hardly a car anymore, and it's gonna be even less soon. Alright, so this thing is now completely down. I mean, there's not much left on here that I'm gonna cut out left. You know, maybe some of this fender well, you know, not a whole lot. It's kind of just bare shell now. Then this thing is as ready as it needs to be for the chassis to go on. So I need to start working out where things are going, and to do that, I need that to go on. Okay, as you can see, the body and the chassis are now one. It is really cool looking. I just wish that I didn't have to see it with all this, these extra tubes in the way. But as you can maybe tell, it's, you know, monster trucking a bit in the back and a bit too low in the front. So what's gonna happen is I gotta cut out a little section here. I've kind of marked it out already. Cut it later, not right now. But that's gotta be cut down. Let the body sit down a little bit more, especially in the back. Next time, what the game plan is to mount the body, because currently it's just sitting. You know, I'm just gonna do a bunch of little fancy things. Otherwise, I don't know what else we're gonna do. I'm kind of doing this by, I don't know, the seat of my pants. Maybe the fuel tank. I don't like it how it sits like that. I want it to sit normal, and maybe that'll get mounted. But otherwise, this looks cool. Plaid, always cool. Porsches, always cool. See you next time.